Thank you for listening to Mobility Redefined, brought to you by Modaxo. For more insights and information, please visit mobilityredefined.com. That is mobilityredefined.com. Welcome to the Mobility Redefined podcast, where we spotlight transformative mobility leaders and projects reshaping how cities are moving. I am Dr. Kaan Yildizgoz, and today I'm very pleased to be joined by my good friend, Mr. Hammam Saab, Vice President for Technical Affairs at Jeddah Transport Company. Jeddah is Saudi Arabia's second largest city and a critical gateway for pilgrims and global travelers. As the Saudi Arabia positions itself for Vision 2030, cities like Jeddah are undergoing historic transport transformations, from modernizing their bus systems to reimagining taxi operations and preparing to host World Cup in the country. Hammam is at the technical helm of this evolution, helping Jeddah designing systems that are smarter, more sustainable, and more inclusive. Welcome, Hammam.
Thank you so much, Kaan, for this introduction. I'll do my best to give the insight of what we're doing here. You're talking about Jeddah. We have a very common saying in Arabic, Jeddah ghair, means Jeddah is different. Jeddah is an energetic city. Jeddah has a soul. Jeddah is popular. Jeddah is loved. Jeddah is fun. Jeddah is definitely a unique city in the kingdom. And I hope in my line of work, we can support the way of living for the Jeddawi people, visitors and residents through our projects in public transportation, inshallah.
That's great to have you, Hammam, with us. Thanks for joining once again. And let's dive into how Jeddah is navigating this ambitious mobility transformation. And let me start with a question asking you about Jeddah's role in Vision 2030 and national transport strategy of the country. How does Jeddah Transport Company's work align with this vision and national mobility priorities?
Saudi's Vision 2030 is our manual into the future. It's just a clear vision of how our future country will be, our future cities will be. And Jeddah, being the second largest city in the kingdom, has a lot of potential, has a lot of aspects that we should be focusing on to help the country move into the future in a very outstanding way as what we aim for our country, inshallah. Jeddah is, like I was saying, the second largest city. It is the gateway to the two holy mosques. It's the commercial capital of Saudi. It also has one of the largest ports in the region, has maybe one of the busiest airports in the region. So definitely we need to roll up our sleeves and gear into doing whatever it takes to meet the ambitious plans for our Vision 2030 for the country.
I think you were mentioning about one of the largest airports. I think what I was reading some weeks ago in the newspaper saying that in the busy period, there's 100,000 passengers per day using the Jeddah's airport. It was a very interesting figure.
Yes, absolutely. We have millions of people come for a certain season to Jeddah in specific to go to Mecca and Medina. And definitely Jeddah has the airport that's enough size and equipped to receive all these people. It's definitely an important link from Jeddah to the two holy cities, plus other cities in the region. So definitely Jeddah is a hub for whomever comes to the kingdom.
And then what I know is that Jeddah you are working in terms of revamping the bus system of the city. Can you walk us through the scale of this transformation and what residents can expect from the bus transport in the future in Jeddah?
Yes, that's my universe. We started a bus network, a humble bus network in 2018 that lasted for about 7 years. It was only 6 lines. And I have to admit that we are learning as we go. We learned a lot through this period. And alhamdulillah, we just signed a contract for a new bus service last April. And we have now 14 lines versus what we had before as 6 lines. And we have a larger fleet of buses using the latest technology in buses and also environmental friendly Euro 5 buses. And some of the fleet is electrical buses as well. So definitely that's our bread and butter. That's what we do every day. We also constructed a few bus stations, air-conditioned bus stations, and we expect to increase the number every year, inshallah. We just also announced the start of a sea taxi network a couple of months ago. And we are working on the first and last mile as part of our network. This is what we do every day. We plan, we think, we brainstorm different ideas, and we look forward to having increased fleet as we get along in the future years.
And then you were mentioning about the sea taxis, and maybe you can also tell us about your plans in terms of the taxi transport in the city and together with this sea taxi option.
The sea taxi, we started a small network and we expect it to grow, inshallah. Like Jeddah is on the Red Sea, of course. The sea is a main feature of coastal city like Jeddah. It's definitely an attraction point where many people would definitely, I can see now, if someone comes to Jeddah, Haji or Umrah people, they have their buses go near any marina and they take a tour around the Red Sea. So this has become an important aspect for us. It's transportation / tourism, sea taxi. We expect in the future the fleet will grow. We'll have more stops to serve Jeddah and the kind of suburbs near Jeddah. And we hope also to have some advanced technology for the operation of the sea taxis, inshallah.
That's perfect. And then in terms of the regular taxis in the city, what's your plan? I was hearing a lot from your colleagues in terms of, let's say, there is now currently mostly the individuals are owning and operating the taxis. And then how do you plan to change this taxi landscape? Because we heard that the Transport General Authority gave some advices to the different cities, and then you are trying to follow these advices as well.
Actually, that's definitely a good question because just recently we have been tasked with the responsibility to upgrade the taxi service in the city of Jeddah. Like you mentioned, now it's running almost by individuals, many companies, and it's not controlled that much. We expect in the future, there are about 3,000 taxis running in the city of Jeddah for the time being. We expect in the near future to have franchise companies, maybe 4 or 5 companies that will be running the taxi service in Jeddah. We expect the service will be done through applications. We expect we'll have modern cars with much better service to the city, inshallah. And we expect to have certain parking spots for the taxis in major busy points, malls, points of interest, stuff like that. So definitely it's in our plans. We hope in about beginning of next year, we can sign the first franchise to bring up the taxi service in Jeddah, inshallah.
So that's perfect. It seems that, Jeddah is also becoming a very interesting hub for the taxi operating companies globally. So they will have a more interest to get in touch and then to put their fleet on the ground there. So I'm sure that your doors are being knocked a lot by the different operators as of today.
Yes, actually, maybe if I can talk about the general aspect, we hope within the next 5, let's say about around 5 years, we'll have an integrated application that can give residents and visitors the full trip from wherever they are into wherever they want to go. That application should have, of course, the buses. Hopefully, it will have also provision for the sea taxi and the normal taxis as well. Hopefully, also, it will have provision for the first and last mile. As it is known, the environment in this part of the world can be very hot and humid. So we want to make sure that we encourage the people to use the public transportation as much as possible through giving them a complete solution. So once a person gets out of his house, he can get a vehicle that will take him to the nearest bus stop, and then he can take the bus, and that might take him to whatever his destination is, and then maybe he can also get into the sea taxi or the last mile to reach his destination. So we're definitely looking for an integrated, complete solution to support public transportation in Jeddah.
And then you were explaining the last mile. Are you having any idea in terms of like a bus on demand and this kind of services, TRT type of services?
We're planning to have certain trial of different options in the city of Jeddah. We think in the near future, we might try something that looks like vans, like small vans, as we expect that people can get this vehicle outside their house. So we think a small vans with maybe up to 12 passengers can do the job. And this will be feeding the nearest bus station or whatever network the passengers are planning to get into. So we expect that the people will leave home in comfort, get into the air-conditioned van, get into the air-conditioned bus stop, and then go into his destination through the bus or any other means that he will need. We're still exploring different options, how we will do it. And like I was telling you before, what we're doing here, we're learning. So we try something and we see if it works or not, and then we improve on it and we move forward further into that direction.
And Jeddah is now also connected with other cities with a high-speed rail. So I guess that's giving you a lot of relief in terms of reaching to the city. And then you may have some ideas to put some rail inside the city in the future as well. Can you tell us about this also?
For the time being, we're connecting our network, our bus network, to the 2 railway stations. There is one at the airport, the high-speed rail, and there's another one in an area named the Slimania. And our buses reach both destinations, and it connects the whole city of Jeddah. Actually, not only that, there's a bus network that goes to other cities in the kingdom. We're connecting our network to that as well. And we expect, maybe like you mentioned before, Hajj and other seasons, we expect to increase the frequency of our bus fleet wherever there's certain demand for such thing. And we expect our network to really be flexible enough to adapt to any expected demand in any direction.
And when we look at all these preparations, it is certainly, let's say, a way for increasing your readiness for the Hajj, which you are every year hosting more than 2 million pilgrims, visitors to your city. And also you have the World Cup that's coming very soon to your country. So how you can be linking all your efforts with both the Hajj and World Cup?
There was a recent survey saying that about 30% of Hajjis will spend few days in Jeddah. And like I was saying, Jeddah is the commercial hub, a major commercial hub in Saudi. So definitely you can see a lot of Hajj and Umrah people here. Our current network connects to all methods to enter into the city of Jeddah. So we do have linkage, like I was saying, with the 2 high-speed rail stations, plus all the other buses that brings Hajjis from Mecca or Medina and other locations. And we have flexibility in our network to entertain whatever demand we have. So more or less, we expect that all the points of interest for Hajjis are covered within our network. We expect in the future that aspect will grow even further. And inshallah, just maintaining certain flexibility, and we grow as needed in any direction we need to.
And then World Cup, for the World Cup, Hammam, I guess that you will be hosting the games as well in Jeddah. Am I right on this?
Yes, that's true. There's going to be 4 stadiums in the city of Jeddah, and there's going to be 2034, a little bit less than a decade from now. We are already planning our next bus network to really have a heavy presence to provide passenger flow to all the 4 stadiums. And also for the World Cup file, they have points of interest for fans, for whatever events they will have, plus the hotels that will be hosting all the visitors. So we expect our future network, it will have strong presence to support the World Cup in 2034, inshallah.
I have the Al Hilal is from Jeddah. Am I right? Your
No.
Am I apologies?
Jan, you're way off. Al Ittihad and Al Ahli from Jeddah. By the way, Al Ahli just won the Asian Cup. Al Ahli just won the Asian Cup a couple of maybe 10 days ago. So you see, Darwis are very happy now.
Congratulations for this.
And Al Ittihad just won the local Saudi league just last week. So Jeddah, as far as football is concerned, Jeddah is a very happy place these days. Al Ahli won for Asia, Ittihad won for Saudi. So these are good days for football fans, for Jeddah.
That's great. And then with all this transformation, we are sure that maybe in 10 years' time, we will be winning the global prize for public transport as well, in terms of the transformation.
Inshallah. Absolutely. We hope so.
That's perfect. And then maybe you were also mentioning about like a sustainability, some smart mobility, Euro 5. Are there any plans in terms of the electric bus fleets or some decarbonization in this front? What are your plans also?
For this specific topic, I have a very interesting story. It started with thumbs up on LinkedIn. For me, living in Jeddah, living in Saudi, I can see that Jeddah is a big city, a lot of pollution, cars, buses cause that. So I saw on LinkedIn, there's a company named Yutong. They're operating electric buses in Qatar. So I said some good words and I had some thumbs up for whatever they were showing on LinkedIn. Then that was the start of an excellent relationship with Yutong, which led to a trial of an electric bus in the city of Jeddah. We championed this trial for almost a year. We hear consultant, we ask consultant electric buses, they say, no, your environment is too hot. Maybe the battery will not be able to stand air conditioning all the time. So our experience with Yutong, with this actual trial, gave us actual data. We, with our operator, had this trial and we were monitoring on daily basis how efficient was the air conditioning, how efficient was the battery, were there any problems with that operation. And I say alhamdulillah, because at the end of the day, the trial was complete success. We have actual data that we gained. We did ourselves, not through consultants, not through anybody else. That data led into our current fleet that has few electric buses in the fleet as permanent buses operating in our city. Plus, it also supported other cities in the kingdom. Like, I don't know if you hear, like in Tabuk, I think in maybe Dammam and probably Medina too. Now it became a trend that all major cities in the kingdom will aim to have electric buses. So definitely sustainability is an important aspect for us. The electric or the clean fuel vehicles will be increasing gradually. And we expect every new bus package, it will have more better fuel. Now we have Euro 5. Maybe in the future it will be Euro 6 or something. Also, we'll have maybe more buses as electric. So definitely this is something that we're interested in. To add to that, even for our taxis, for the franchise, we're expecting to have a certain percentage of the taxis to be completely electrical, a certain percentage to be hybrid. And again, even for the taxis, we expect that percentage to grow. Same goes for the sea taxi. We're now exploring different technologies here and there for sea taxi operators that would have fully electric vehicles for the sea taxi. So definitely this is one thing that my company is focusing on, and we hope in few years we'll have more electric vehicles in every aspect, and that will only become more and more as we go through the year, inshallah.
You have a big challenge because your country is known as a car society. People love using their cars. Also, that you are an oil producer, that the fuel is cheaper than many parts of the world. So how culturally you can convince people to leave their cars and use public transport? So it's a big dilemma that you are facing. Certainly that increasing the supply is one very important thing, but how are your thoughts about this?
It's really interesting because like I was saying before, we had 6 lines of bus service in the city that lasted for about 7 years. I think we have learned a lot. Now technology, now in our new bus fleet, the current one, we have an easy to use application. We see many more young people using it because the application is clear. It tells you clear information. You can pay in the bus with any means. You can use your ATM card, you can use Visa, you can use the application itself. And I think, like I was saying before, in the future, we're hoping for a complete solution. We want to give everybody the option of having a comfortable from A to B complete journey for anybody who wants to use it. I think if we provide a good service, if we provide comfortable service, people will use it. We already can see now with our latest contract, there's a shift. There's so many more Saudis using it. We can see Saudi families are using it. We can see a lot of young guys, a lot of students are using it. Why? Because the service is better. The buses are better. The technology is better. It's much more comfortable. You can understand where exactly you can go and how you can do that with a simple application. So I think it's our job to insist of having high quality service every step of the way. And I am sure little by little, the people here will get more used to it. Once they see it's a good service, they will definitely use it. Keep in mind, historically, Jeddah seems to be the most likely place for public transportation to succeed. Because like I was saying, Jeddah is a casual place. Jeddah is a relaxed place. People here, by far, would not mind using public transportation. So inshallah, if we give them excellent service, believe me, the shift is happening already.
There is also I have one last question, is that there are a lot of mega projects in your country. And if I'm not wrong, one of them is not very far from you. It's the Red Sea project. So it's close by to Jeddah. Am I wrong? Not very far.
I don't know what project you're talking about. There are projects inside the city of Jeddah, like Jeddah Central Development. Al-Balad is a very powerful destination. It's the historical heart of Jeddah. It's a very well-established destination for tourism residents. We expect a kind of suburbs of Jeddah. There are other projects that will be linked to Jeddah. Definitely in our future network, we expect that we will have, I don't know, maybe something like a different kind of buses to take you from, because these places sometimes like 50, 60 kilometers away. We expect our network will grow to cover that through appropriate buses in the future. But I think our area of concentration for the near future is what we have within the city of Jeddah, high concentrated area with population, where we feel it's where the demand is higher. But in the future, we expect the network will grow and it will cover also suburbs of Jeddah with less density, but it should also be with high quality service to make sure any visitor or resident can use the service in the most comfortable way.
Thank you, Mr. Hammam, for sharing your insights and the inspiring work happening in Jeddah. Are there any final message you would like to share with our listeners about what's next for Jeddah Transport Company?
I just want to share Jeddah is rare. We try to do things differently. We try to do things with more creativity. We try to make it more lively. I encourage everybody, visit Jeddah. Jeddah is unique. Jeddah is fun. Whatever you want, business, shopping, work, Red Sea, Hajj, Umrah, Jeddah is it. Please visit us.
Thank you. It has been a big pleasure having you on the Mobility Redefined podcast. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We will be back soon with more voices from around the world driving the future of mobility.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Mobility Redefined, brought to you by Modaxo. For more insights, visit our website at mobilityredefined.com or follow us on LinkedIn. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite app to stay updated with our latest episodes. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed the conversation.